Hey guys, I'm Dr. Jared Young, and I'm going to teach you right now how to activate your diaphragm and give you some exercises you can do to strengthen it so that it becomes the muscle that you breathe with all the time. Okay, so your diaphragm is this muscle like we talked about before. It's a parachute-shaped muscle that's up underneath your ribs, around the base of your rib cage, and pulls your lungs down and pushes your ribs out. Okay, so that's the action that it does. What we want to do is give a little bit of resistance to that action to get the muscle to fire, just like any other muscle. When you apply resistance, it activates it. So your bicep, if you put the weight in your hand here, that activates that muscle. We want to do the same thing with your diaphragm. I'm going to create some resistance. So if you take a pillowcase and just fold it into like a 4-inch strip, so a couple of folds, and you take this and you wrap it around the base of your ribs, and you grab hold of it and you just pull a little bit, right? You put a little bit of resistance. That gives a little bit of resistance to the diaphragm. And then if you inhale into that space, then that activates that muscle. And you can, a lot of you, when you try, you're gonna do this. You're gonna breathe up. It's gonna go, your chest is gonna go up and down. That's actually a stress breath that we want to train you away from. So I want you to stand in the mirror, pull your shoulders down, and practice breathing so your chest and shoulders don't move. The only movement is happening down here around the base of your ribs. So you're inhaling and it's going. Nothing happens, there's no upward movement at all, okay? And as you do that, it'll get easier and easier. At first, it's gonna be hard. You're gonna be, it might get a little bit frustrating. Don't get frustrated with it. Just be patient with yourself, practice. You can, if you want, contact us. We're doing telehealth. We can help you with this via a video conference. But don't get frustrated with it. It's how your body's designed to work, and it will work. To be patient with yourself, get that muscle to fire. Once your diaphragm is active, so don't worry about your chest and shoulders at first. Just find the muscle. So feel that tension around the entire base of your ribs, and feel the pressure pushing back into the towel or the pillowcase and into your hands here as well. Feel that pressure. Once you felt that, then start looking at your chest and shoulders, and let's get that to be down and disengaged as you're breathing. And the next step is to slow it down. You want to inhale for 3 to 5 seconds and then exhale for 6 to 10. Your respiratory rate, how fast you breathe, is an indication of how much stress you're under. In a doctor's office, when you come in, if you did like a physical for sports or for a job or something, on the physical form it says what's the respiratory rate, and if they're breathing between 12 to 14 breaths a minute, that's called within normal limits. So we put a WNL and we just check it off. They're not sick. So 12 to 14 breaths a minute is within normal limits, but it's not optimal. Optimal is actually 3 to 6 breaths a minute. So you want to slow. If you're breathing 12 to 14 breaths a minute, you want to try to get down to 3 to 6. Odds are you're probably breathing 18 to 25 breaths a minute. Check it yourself. Just put a timer and see how many times you're breathing in a minute. And when you do that, at first you're going to slow down, because you naturally want to pass the test, so you naturally slow down. Just trying to get into a natural, comfortable breathing rate, and start a timer and see how many breaths you're taking in a minute. You want that to be between 3 to 6. Okay. If it's not, then just train it. It's just like any other muscle. You have to train it and train it and train it and train it every day. Work on your breathing. Pull the air down into the bottom of your ribs. Pull it in for 3 to 5 seconds, and then let it fall out for 6 to 10. That exhale is really, really important. A lot of people don't realize how important the exhale is. If you were to drown, for example, you don't drown for lack of oxygen. You drown because you can't get rid of the carbon dioxide. That's why people fall into like a frozen river, and they pull them out 20 minutes later and they revive them, because they fall into the river, they stop producing carbon dioxide, or at least they slow down production of carbon dioxide. There's plenty of oxygen in the blood to last about a half an hour, but you can't get rid of the carbon dioxide. That poisons you. So that exhale is really important to get that poison out. That's that chemical stress in your body that you want to expel. So pay attention to the exhale. Let that exhale happen. So you want to inhale real deep and slow to the bottom of your ribs, and then let it fall out. It's really good if you meditate, if you pray, do that before you meditate or pray. Right? It just slows everything down, clears your mind. It'll actually boost dopamine and serotonin into your brain. Your immune function gets better. Let me explain that real quick. Right now we're in this coronavirus mess. We're all avoiding contact and doing all the things that the government's telling us to do to try to slow the roll of this virus. But the most important thing any of us need to be doing is making our immune system stronger. One of the keys to doing that is breathing in your diaphragm, because your lymphatic system has no pump. Your heart pumps blood through your vascular system, but the lymphatic system is this system of tubes that helps the immune system. It's kind of part of the immune system. It cleans up the mess that the immune system leaves behind as it's going out there and killing the virus. But your diaphragm is kind of the de facto pump for that, especially if you're not moving around as much, because you're sitting at home, not exercising as much, not walking around as much. So breathing your diaphragm will pump that lymphatic tissue and kind of clear the smoke screen so that your antibodies can go find those viruses and gobble them up faster before they can take hold and make us sick. So it's really, really important that you practice this. Get your diaphragm activated, breathing in. You're going to feel better emotionally. Like I said, less depression, less anxiety. You're going to be your immune system will be stronger, and you're gonna have less pain because you're gonna have more structural integrity in your spine.